Hey guys, Deslater Magic here. Now, you might remember in a past video, which I'm totally going to follow up on now, I had stated that there's only a couple options for the design of Amonkhet. The power level was pushed to 11 in Kaladesh and Aether Revolt, so they could either reset the power level and sell practically no cards and no boxes, no boosters from Amonkhet in order to reset the power level, or they can push the power level even further, which would result in them not having one single customer left. Or they could just make cards that specifically kill the set before it. And historically, that's what they've chosen to do. They have crippled the mechanic that came right before it by making something that's a natural predator to it, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term. And that really has been how Wizards has prevented power creep this entire time. In my video all about how Wizards prevents power creep, which you could look up and watch if you want, I gave examples of how every set killed the one before it. So I thought, yeah, they're probably going to stick with that, but how the heck do you stop, Shadows through Aether Revolt right now? I mean, what, Artifact Destruction? I mean, there's already Artifact Destruction in Kaladesh, so what's the point? But no, they managed to do it, and some of these cards are so painfully transparent. And of course, right now I'm making that sound like a bad thing. It absolutely isn't. It's probably the ideal way to handle things. So, like I said, your other options are power creep, where the power just pushes higher every single set, like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Or you can print a set that's worthless garbage that nobody buys because the power level was reset down, and then you just wait for it to cycle, which, by the way, Amonkhet and well, actually, no, that's not true. Amonkhet would be it doesn't cycle with the Kaladesh block, but still, you'd be waiting a while. It wouldn't exactly be my choice. If you're going to reset the power level, do it when a set cycles. I mean, duh. So those other options suck. You clearly just want to kind of defeat what's before it. And it's a lot more subtle because when they said, oh, we're going to shorten the legality cycle by 6 months and all cards are legal for a year and a half instead of 2 years, everybody got mad, and what they don't realize is that every set kills the one before it anyway. You can't play a deck for a year and a half. You just can't do it. So if you don't believe me, I can't imagine why at this point. Here are some examples. Some of these are better examples than others. This is a pretty weak one. Blazing Volley. It's a sorcery. It costs 1, and it's red. But it deals 1 damage to each creature just your opponent's control. So now you're probably thinking, oh, what does that stop? Well, servos, duh. So they wanted to stop servo dump and even potentially scion dump if that was still a thing. Although I've noticed a distinct lack of them trying to stop BFZ and OGW. In fact, there's a couple cards that just made landfall completely a thing again. So I think perhaps, I'm not sure on the timing on this, that they designed Amonkhet with the idea that BFZ would no longer be legal at that point. Whoopsies. So I think the most broken decks are actually going to involve BFZ, OGW, and Amonkhet. But anyway, Blazing Volley, for sure it'll kill servos, thopters, whatever. It costs 1. Yeah, it already existed. You had like Flaying Tendrils. You had -1/-1 to non-black, I think it was. That was Festergloom. I don't know. There's Henny's Expertise. That's a -3 sweeper. But there have been some cards in black that would kill a whole line of 1/1s. Well, now red has one too. So it's just a little bit of fixing, putting it into a second color, ensuring that servos are just unplayable. Next up, the number 1 most blatant by a long shot Kaladesh killer, by force. Even the name is kind of like a play on words. Like, we're going to stop you from playing Dynavolt Tower by force. Oh, you're playing like a Master of the Foundries deck? Now you have to stop playing it because I'm going to force you. 1 red and X destroy X target artifacts. And I know blowing up artifacts is kind of red's thing a little bit. It's absolutely a green thing, but it's occasionally a red thing. This is a little bit out of character for red. I mean, I've seen a couple, cards that'll blow up an artifact, but not many. Actually, especially in the modern pool, there's really not that many. So, I mean, the fact that they can have 2 Dynavolts on the field by turn 3, and then on your turn 3 you blow them both up, that's just funny to me. And you can take out a Gear Hulk, and another Gear Hulk, and another Gear Hulk, and another Gear Hulk. I mean, this is just like, oh my god. Like, yeah, they could still counter it. I mean, this would be like the most blatant thing I've ever seen in my life if it said it couldn't be countered. But luckily that's a blue or green thing. Otherwise, I feel like they actually would have done that. Something like if X is higher than blah, then you can't be countered. That would be OP. But yeah, this is just straight up Kaladesh block killer. I mean, absolutely no question about it. Now, next up, we've got Cast Out. It does cost 4, which means it's not that playable. It's only an uncommon, but you flash it in with white, and when it enters the battlefield, you can exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until Cast Out leaves the battlefield, and then cycling 1 in case you don't need it. So, very good, flexible, good card, very appropriate power, and you can get rid of anything. Now, that's missing. Stasis Snare can't get rid of anything. That's only creatures. Even like blue stuff like Containment Membrane, that can't stop just anything. So a universal exiler in white, we didn't have that. Because we didn't have that, some of the later sets like Shadows through Kaladesh were getting rid of, or they're getting away with some stuff. And honestly, this could stop a Planeswalker. I mean, you can get rid of anything with this other than a manland. So this will single-handedly stop some stuff, maybe. I mean, it does cost 4, it is only white, but it's definitely chipping away at certain deck archetypes. So this is one of the weaker examples. Next up, oh my god, is this blatant. Dispossess, the exact opposite of Lost Legacy. This is what Lost Legacy should have been. So it's a sorcery, it costs 3. Wow, that sounds familiar. Choose an artifact card name. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. So they are gone. Goodbye. This is actually like modern good. I mean, I know it costs 3 and it's a sorcery, but this is just straight up nuke it. In fact, I thought this looked awfully familiar. This is an improved version of Infinite Obliteration. It's the exact same card except that it can be an artifact instead of a creature. That is huge, 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 huge. If you take out Torrential Gearhulk, red, white, blue decks might not be able to win. I mean, they usually run the cat combo, but other than that, they don't have any kind of swing power, and they can just sit there and blow up your crap and counterspell it, but that's it. They'll have to sideboard in a win condition. Now, some of them run like weird crap like Oblivion Sower, so you never know, but the ones that I've seen, they very heavily rely on Torrential Gearhulk to win. I mean, they might have a 1/3 creature that can swing 20 times, but that's about it for the deck. The rest is just removal spells and draw. Oh, and counter spells, obviously. So the fact that you could just preemptively, oh, there goes your Torrential, there goes your Dynavolt, there goes whatever you need to win, there goes your Heart of Kirin. It obviously can't blow up one that's in play, so Heart of Kirin might be a little bit hard, but, this could get rid of a Sky Sovereign or something like that. I mean, there are so many artifacts that are used to win the game, especially the frickin' Cheerios card, that one that where you 50 nuke them. I think it's Aetherflux Reservoir. See, this is the side effect of giving cards cutesy little nicknames. We just call it the 50 nuker. Like, seriously, all my friends and everybody in my playgroup just calls it the 50 nuker, so then I forget what it's actually called. If you get rid of the 50 nuker, it is over for them. That's it. And of course, Lost Legacy said non-artifact. So we needed this. Oh my gosh. Now, if you're saying, Des, it's just a coincidence. He's just they just printed whatever they wanted and thought might be fun, and it just randomly affects it. How many artifacts are in Amonkhet? Dispossess is specifically designed to kill the Kaladesh block, trust me. Now, almost the same exact card, Gideons Intervention. I said the number 1 card I want to see is Meddling Mage. This is an overpriced monocolored Meddling Mage, so I'm not that disappointed with this. So Gideon's Intervention, it costs double white because, yeah, it should, and then 2 generic. And it's an enchantment, and when it enters the battlefield, you choose a card name. Your opponents can't cast spells with the chosen name, and then on top of it, you prevent all damage that would be dealt to you by permanents you control with that name that are already on the battlefield. And, there's not a whole lot of enchantment removal right now, so this might work. And once again, you name a Gearhulk, you name Anticipator Glimmer if you think, they're going to draw their way out of, that you nuking their hand or something like that. You could get rid of a key component. You could name Dynavolt, and then you prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and permanents you control by sources named Dynavolt Tower. There you go. Oh, you named Heart of Kirin? Great. I mean, you're probably dead at that point because it costs 4, but it's an exceptionally good card. This just makes them beat you with like a variety of permanents instead of 1 permanent. And if you think about it, you primarily lose to 1 permanent with a lot of popular decks right now. Like I said, Dynavolt, Gearhulk, even some of the stuff in black-green decks, they're very repetitive. I mean, that one's more still a little bit floody, as well as the, what do you call it, the counter decks, the counter dump decks with a Winding Constrictor. But this forces you to play something like white-red vehicles where you could get hit by any vehicle, and just naming one takes away like 1/8 of the damage. Who cares? Now, next up is Harsh Mentor. I mean, already a $10 rare, the most expensive rare in the entire set so far. It's a 2/2 for 2, so you can throw him out as just a creature to ignore the ability. That's fine. But otherwise, his ability is his whole thing. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of an artifact, hey, there's the word artifact again, creature or land on the battlefield, if it isn't a mana ability, I love that that hits manlands, Harsh Mentor deals 2 damage to that player. And if you can grant him lifelink, which I don't believe you can very easily, you could gain that. It's the old Eidolon problem. Well, you ever heard of this card called Dynavolt Tower? It's almost like they really wanted to kill Dynavolt Tower and any kind of repetitive tapping kind of stuff. Now, I researched this a little bit and found contradicting accounts, but as far as I can tell, the majority of people seem to think that crewing is an activated ability. I can't imagine what else it would be, so sure. I mean, in fact, I think it even has a colon, so, I mean, duh. So, the way I read this is every single time somebody crews a vehicle, they take 2 damage. I mean, you can't get much more blatant than that, and then the fact that it just kills, like, Dynavolt and, to an extent, Aetherworks Marvel, but that's a little bit less tap-happy. I think it even shuts down some of the modules, too, actually. So they went hard against Kaladesh with this card. I mean, this was... it might replace my other choice as the most blatant stab in the face of Kaladesh. So next, we've got something that I've been saying we need forever, which is Windstorm. Well, I mean, it's literally Windstorm. I mean, let me check real quick. Okay, I just checked. Yes, Heaven is word for word Windstorm. So they have reprinted Windstorm. Then they gave it Earth for some reason. Whatever. It's off color, it's double red, and it hits the opposite creatures. That's just stupid. When would you ever cast both of these? That is an overpriced board wipe if I've ever heard of one. But anyway, Thopter Killer. I mean, not much more I need to say about that. It's a Thopter Killer. It would also take out Blue-White Spirits if they thought that was still going to be a thing, too. So I love this card. I mean, this is like a legit replacement for Windstorm. And now you could, in a modern deck, run 2 Windstorms. So I am just thrilled to death over that card. But did they really think Thopters, as opposed to servos and other stuff, were going to take over? Maybe, maybe not. I might be stretching this. I just wanted to tell everybody that Windstorm's back. I'm super happy. Not so thrilled that they made it a rare, but I'll get over it. Next up, this one's a bit of a stretch, but Lay Bare the Heart, basically like a Thoughtseize for 2, without the loss of life. So I don't know, maybe people will play this instead of Inquisition of Kozilek, probably not. I mean, 2 mana is a lot more than 1, but target opponent reveals his or her hand. Then you just choose any non-legendary non-land card from it, and the player discards a card. So I've never seen that combination before, non-legendary non-land, so they can't nuke one of your legendary creatures. All right, I mean, whatever, that's next to nothing, so whatever. I mean, legendary creatures and cards tend to be good. They also can't nuke a land out of your hand, so that's cool, so they can't just destroy your fixing. But otherwise, this is like a combo killer, and a lot of the cards right now are very combo-ish. Like, without Heart of Kirin, they can't really do much. They could hit you with their crew, but their little 1/1 that turns into a 3/2 when there's an artifact on the field, I don't think they're going to be swinging with that. So this can shut down overpowered decks. I mean, as much as I hate early game hand hate, it's one of the most annoying things in all of Magic. This does kill a couple decks that are popular right now. I do feel like this one was an accident, not on purpose. But they did add in a whole different type of control. Now, there were limited cards that did the same thing, because there always are, but they weren't very good. And next up, you knew this one was going to be in here because this is the first example everybody always gives, Manglehorn, or as I like to call it, a screenshot from Zelda Breath of the Wild. Oh look, he broke his solid steel weapon in one swing against a giant beast. I'm too poor to buy a Switch, I'm just going off of what I heard on YouTube. So when Manglehorn enters the battlefield, you may destroy target artifact. Boom, there goes your vehicle, your Dynavolt, your Gearhulk, your anything. Artifacts your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Now that's not like game ending. It will stop the Saheeli Rai combo because I believe she clones the cats as artifacts. So this does some stuff, but then again, like Thalia did that, so whatever. This is just annoying. I mean, it slows down artifact decks by, one, blowing up one of their artifacts, and two, slowing down the rest of their artifacts. So, it's really an anti-vehicle card, but it's also pretty good against, Dynavolt. You can't cast the Dynavolt and immediately tap it to use its ability. So it's just good, and it's a 2/2 for 3 in green, so I mean, it's playable. It's not ideal, but it's pretty good, I guess. I think it's going to be like, stuck in every sideboard ever, but, it's a good card. It shuts down the Kaladesh block, and that's kind of the theme. Now here's another debatable one, Open Into Wonder, and I was hoping that we get some artwork of them breaking through the Heckma, the little shield bubble thing around the city. This one, it's like debatable. I'll tell you what it does first. So it's blue X, and then X target creatures can't be blocked this turn. Until end of turn, those creatures gain. When this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. This is Bident of Thassa in card form, because remember, you could force all your opponent's creatures to swing at you with its second ability, and then every creature that dealt damage drew a card, and it costs 4. So, I mean, I love that card, so hey, it's back, yay. It could be argued that this will get through a whole line of tokens. So the big thing with Kaladesh was like servo generation with Fabricate and all the servo dump, servo exhibition, all that. So if they thought that was going to take off and be big, especially with the passive boosts, I mean, hello, you can make them enter the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on them with that Mimic, and then you could boost them even higher with the, I think the Chief of the Foundry gives a +1/+1. And then I believe there was like a white card that also gives specifically Thopters a +1/+1. So I think they were thinking that deck was going to be better than it ended up to be. It's still good. I played against it. It's quite dangerous. It's just there were better decks. But I think that they designed this card with that in mind. So if they've got a line of 15 servos, you could bust through and hopefully do like a mass bounce, like pull like an Engulf the Shore or something, which is, I believe, no longer legal. Either that or Whelming Wave. I forgot which of the two we lost, but I was crushed over it. Speaking of that, Crush of Tentacles. So, you could maybe... you can't really ice them all over. I mean, blue has some answers to giant lines of servos, though. I mean, Dampening Pulse or something. I don't know. So you open up the lines, make sure that they can't block 2 or 3 of your creatures, hit them, and then hopefully draw a card that shuts down the servos. So I think this is meant to single-handedly overturn a servo flood. Now, could Dampening Pulse just do it on its own? Yeah. I mean, so whatever. Deck and Stone already stopped it, so this one's a little bit of a stretch, but it would work to do that. So it does effectively stop Kaladesh. Next up, Prowling Sir Peppard. This one could have been an accident too, but it seems very deliberate. It's a 4/3 for 3 and it's a rare, so this is like, they meant this to be good. It can't be countered, and creature spells you control can't be countered. So was this a direct response to red, white, blue draw? I don't think that they saw that deck coming. If they did, they wouldn't have printed Glimmer. This doesn't do anything to stop Dynavolt, so I mean, it's not that good. But yeah, if they're playing counter spell heavy red, white, blue draw, anticipate Glimmer, torrential, this will do it. They could just sideboard out the counter spells and put in more removal though, so that and board wipes. So it's not a complete answer, but it helps, and I think that's what it was designed to do. Next up, now this one is blatant as hell. Trespassers Curse. By the way, I love this artwork. It's so weird. And they basically put on the left side there the Punisher logo. Like, is that not Punisher's logo? I mean, come on. In fact, I think the one to the right of it is from like StarCraft, and the one on top looks like it's from another game. I can't think of it. They don't usually do that for copyright reasons, but maybe they kind of sneak those in. Anyway, Enchant Player. Okay, you know when it's Enchant Player, you're shutting down something. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under Enchanted Player's control, that player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This is at least Commander player if playable, if not Modern playable. I could just see this in certain decks. I mean, it would be in a sideboard, but oh yeah. So you might be asking, what does this stop? Does it say non-token creature? I mean, everything was designed to stop servos, thopters, and mass creature dump, it seems. Well, that and any artifacts at all. Oh, and, combos. And yeah, that's what's popular right now, so they hit the nail on the head. I cannot wait to play this card. I mean, even with just lose 1 life, it would be insane. The fact that I also gain 1 life, oh my gosh. I wish Sanguine Bond was still legal so I could amplify it, which actually, there is the Flying Vampire, so I could amplify it. In fact, that costs 1 less mana. Why am I saying Sanguine Bond? Screw that card. By the way, if you needed any more evidence that they thought BFZ would be gone, Yeah, the flying vampire where every time, what is it, like every time I gain life, they lose life or something like that? Yeah. Yeah, they get hit twice by Trespassers Curse just for having that in play. Oh man, this is so bad. So yeah, I mean, if they were to bring out like 10 servos, they've just about lost the game at that point. Next up, Watchers of the Dead. Big old kitty card, love that. Exile Watchers of the Dead. Each opponent chooses 2 cards in his or her graveyard and exiles the rest. Can you think of what maybe this gets rid of? The one and only Delirium Killer, and it's colorless, and it's exactly what we needed. I actually thought that they were going to reprint Tormod's Crypt verbatim. Like, straight up reprint it. Not even a functional reprint, just reprint Tormod's Crypt. Because, you know, Crypt, Egypt. That would have been perfectly appropriate. Absolutely perfectly appropriate. Because I believe you can drop it for 0 and activate it for 0. Yep, and it nukes their entire graveyard. In fact, it exiles their whole graveyard. Or you can target yourself if you're weird. So I'd still love to see Tormod's Crypt. I don't think you can stop Delirium with a 4 of. I think you can stop it with an 8 of. But still, I mean, Delirium players will live in fear of this card because any color can play it. I mean, it's not like Artifact Destruction doesn't exist, but you know, green and black aren't really the best at it right now. Green is pretty good, but black's certainly not. So could you stop Black-Green Delirium with this? Yeah, I think so. I mean, at least slow it way down. So that's all the ones I picked out for now, but hopefully you're getting the idea. I mean, once in a while they will throw in a couple cards that will just utterly destroy the set before them. Just shut down one of its major mechanics and make it completely unplayable. And it's kind of unfair to the players because, like I said, you lose your deck. It's technically worse and more detrimental than them shortening the cycle to a year and a half. But then again, that really killed you on the mana base, and they really never like put in anything that kills the previous set's mana base. I think they should have in this set. Like I said, they should have forced mono. Like every time your opponent taps a non-basic land, they lose 5 life or something. I don't know. That would be a little aggressive. Blood Moon maybe might be a little overkill too. I think that's why they didn't do it. But to force like a 3 color down to 1 color, yeah, I don't think they'd ever do that. But they should have. They definitely should have. So, okay, I get it. You can keep your stupid little overpriced dual lands for 6 extra months. That's the huge silver lining to all this. But they're still going to continue to print crap like these cards that kills the set and kills your entire deck, and then you have to rebuild something different. So, you know, don't live under the impression that you can keep your deck so much longer. You can't. So if you have any other examples of just blatant Kaladesh, especially SOI and EMN killers, because I saw like one of them. I mean, maybe Vampires versus Windstorm, but not all of them are even flying. But yeah, if you have any other examples, I'd love to hear about them down in the comments section. Otherwise, hopefully this has been very enlightening and eye-opening, and I'll see you guys next video.